Welcome to our social customer service demo. Today we're going to be running through the Salesforce solution for social customer service, but we're also going to touch on social selling and how to run engagement in parallel with those activities. So I've got quite a few slides to get through today. I really encourage you guys to get involved with the demo today. We're actually using live AF Digital Facebook and Twitter accounts, and also Instagram as well. So please, if you can go there right now and add a comment, a post, a reply, direct message us on multiple avenues if you like, and anything you can say, hey FD, I'm totally loving this webinar being run by Robin_FD. Here's totes amazeballs, #AF Digital. So just have fun with it, doesn't really matter. I use our own social networks as kind of a practice play area. So just a safe harbor, we're going to be talking a lot about Salesforce technology, so please make any buying decisions please don't make them based on forward-looking statements, base them on currently available technology. So today I've got quite a lot to get through, and I'm really excited about this one because this really covers social and Salesforce and how they all integrate together. It's not just social customer service. So I'll do a quick intro, then we'll run through the ROI of social customer service. We'll look at the solution as a whole. Then I'll jump into 3 separate demos, one for social engagement using Social Studio, one social customer service using Service Cloud, and then social selling using Sales Cloud. I'll talk quickly about how to operationalize this technology, and then we have some time for Q&A. Please do follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Robin_AFD. I always post about events and webinars. Great, so we'll start with the intro. So for those that don't already know me, my name's Robin Leonard. I'm the co-founder and CEO of AF Digital. My background, I really started my professional career as a customer service agent in Vodafone. Rose the ranks to become a telco business analyst, where I implemented Siebel. I was the lead BA across 3 countries. It was a $500 million project. So that gave me really deep CRM experience. I later went on to work with IBM as an Agile PM and did a lot of BI project work and also CRM as well. So I've got a really strong passion for customer technology, but also the analytics and the data that goes behind that. I founded AF Digital with a partner in 2011. And we actually became a Radian6 partner in 2012. So we've been practitioners with social using the latest technology for a long time. And I've spent the last 6 years helping these large companies adopt social at scale all across Asia. For those that, if it's your first webinar, we are running weekly webinars, almost weekly, all around Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Next session we've got is the 26th, which is how to connect sales and service to Marketing Cloud, which is a really great introduction to those that are just getting started with Marketing Cloud and Salesforce. Next is Social Pro Tips with Salesforce, where I run through tips, like expert tips across Salesforce for handling social media. Then we talk about calculating ROI, etc., etc. So please, you can either go to our website, afdigital.com/events, or go to our YouTube, and we post all of the recorded videos there. So there's all of the history there. There's heaps of content there that's really valuable if you're taking this journey. Great, so just a little bit about AF Digital. We're a trusted customer experience partner. We help our clients build smarter customer journeys through agile transformation, scalable marketing operations, and marketing technology consulting. We're a Salesforce Gold consulting partner. We've got a good CSAT, and that's what really drives us is your satisfaction as a client, and we're always looking to improve that. And we really operate across sales, service, marketing, and community cloud. We're trusted by household brands across APAC. We've got some really great logos here, and we've really been operating regional services for a lot of these large enterprise clients. We've got a delivery center in the Philippines. We've got an office in Singapore and also in Sydney, where I'm based. We're also a full-service digital agency, so this is really our core business, is digital marketing. We've always been a digital marketing services provider. And the Salesforce journey has just taken us down this amazing path where we get to implement the latest technology, but also help clients operate it as well. And we've got some really great packages for those that just want a simple, quick starter. We've got these really great packages that help you adopt the technology while you're installing, integrating, and automating, but also when you go to operate it. Great. Okay. Without further ado, let's get into the presentation. So let's talk about the ROI of social customer service. So I know not everyone's from Australia. I'm based here, but this is a really great set of facts. Australia is actually, it has the highest daily active Facebook users globally, according to We Are Social report that just came out. 7 in 10 Australians use Facebook. And there's been 2 million new active users since last year. And there's another stat, 54% of Australians prefer to contact brands via social, which is, it's just really powerful, you know, and brands just need to start gearing up for the influx of people wanting to talk to them through social. This stat actually came out of a recent Salesforce report, where approximately 70% of customers are likely to switch if they receive an inconsistent experience across different channels. So, I mean, that's just crazy. It really places importance on the fact that you've got to treat your social channels the same as you treat your office lobby, you know. Customers have a really high expectation now of social response times, and they expect you to already be on social. And you look at a company like KLM that update their SLA every 5 minutes on their Twitter account. But you can see here 53% of people want to be responded to within an hour. And this stat, I think this is about a year old as well. So it's really like, you know, people have very high expectations on social. Not to mention, it's not just the customers, it's also the businesses, you know, and social is becoming an important channel for all sorts of areas of the business. Of course, you've got marketing, which predominantly owns social historically. Now service is really important. Sales, how are we actually getting leads out of social? What technology is required to support social? How are you using social to mitigate risk in your business? How are your HR teams using social to monitor staff happiness and make sure there's no reputation issues or complaints through HR? Or how are they using it for recruitment? Insights, you know, the insights team now have this whole new set of data, and how are they adopting data from social? And then, of course, C-suite, who are really responsible for driving digital transformation in a safe way that protects shareholders. And social ROI is really the key point here. And there's the way to measure ROI in any situation is always the same. So I'll just run through an example. So you set a goal, say you want to generate 1,000 leads, you set the goal value. So if you convert 1% of your leads and 1 lead is worth 1,000, then 1 lead is worth $10. So you can do average lifetime value calculation to work backwards. You track the expenses to run the operation, and then you just track the goals and you calculate ROI, return minus expense divided by expense. So in this case, it was $10,000 return, $4,000 cost divided by 4,000, $6,000 ROI. So that's really great. So that's just a kind of 101 intro to ROI. There's lots of different ways of tracking ROI on social, and here's some examples. These are what I see as really the 4 pillars, you know, tracking the value of sentiment on social, tracking the cost savings from social customer service, and then tracking leads and sales from social selling and social advertising. But generally, focusing in on social customer service, this stat came out of a study done I think through Salesforce as well, where they found that the average cost to answer a voice call is $15. The average cost to answer an email is $10, and the average cost to answer a social inquiry is $5. And that's really because you can have an agent that's handling multiple things at the same time. They can easily send a link to an FAQ page or redirect a customer to a self-service channel, rather than having to ID the customer every time and have a wait queue and, you know, only handle one customer at the same time. And here's an example calculation. So using that as an assumption, $15 for a voice call or $5 for social, If you receive 5,000 voice calls per month, the cost for that is $75,000. If I can deflect 20% of those calls, or 1,000 calls to social, the cost to operate that is $5,000 per month. So the remaining 4,000 voice calls, so they've still got voice running through 80%, so they've got $60,000 per month. So it's really $65,000 per month is the total cost to operate if they're deflecting 20% to social. So it was $75,000, now it's $65,000. They've got a savings of $10,000 per month. And then you map that out over the year, $120,000. So it's a very simple example. Obviously, you'd have your own numbers for your internal costs to operate. Great. Okay, so let's jump into the solution overview. So feel free to ask questions. I'll try address them as we go along. Great. So we're really talking about Salesforce here. Salesforce are killing it at the moment. They're really on an upward stretch. You know, they're growing exponentially. Benioff's recently announced that he wants to hit 20 billion revenue, top 5 enterprise technology. They're actually not just focused on the enterprise anymore, though. They're really going all the way down to ESB, or emerging small business. And they've done that through providing scalable cloud software that's really fit for any size business. The benefits that small business gain are that you can actually gain the thinking and the the awesome stuff like Einstein predictive technology. You gain that value by just paying 1 or 2 user licenses. So that's really the beauty of cloud software. What we're seeing out of Salesforce is that every 2 or 3 months they have a major release, and it is action-packed full of stuff. There was actually one that came out early this morning. I haven't had a chance to check it, but it's always full of really juicy features like predictive this and analytics embedded here, and all sorts of really cool stuff. This is very recent Gartner results, 2007. These are 3 different quadrants. The one on the left is for digital marketing, and Salesforce are really up there in the top 3. So that's for Salesforce Marketing Cloud. Then in Salesforce Automation, which is really their Sales Cloud, CRM, they just are #1, and also CRM Customer Engagement Center, which is Service Cloud, they're also #1. So this is really going with a platform like Salesforce is a strategic decision for a long time. No one ever gets fired for choosing Salesforce. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty, the technology. So Salesforce, while it's all one platform and it offers single sign-on and other benefits like that, there are separate applications that make up the different functions, because you don't necessarily want everyone to log into everything if it's not their job. So Social Studio is really the social media management software that does publish, engage, listen. And that manages that on social. Social Hub is an automation engine, so that sits in the background and that runs rules, and it runs rules from social to auto tag, but it also sends social cases and social leads through to Salesforce CRM. So you've got CRM sitting here. CRM is really the center of all of your data. You can see that you've got emails, live chat, voice, that all comes into sales and service as a CRM. Often, a lot of companies have a lot of legacy application architecture, which you can actually sync into Salesforce very easily. So Salesforce becomes a really great, flexible front end to the business. Marketing Cloud, this is how it sits off. So it syncs with your CRM data. It may also sync with your legacy data. And that automates your omni-channel journeys, advertising, email, SMS, push, web. And then if you want Salesforce Community Cloud, that offers self-service at the bottom. So you can kind of interact with the company directly with your CRM records without having to speak to somebody. Live Message is a new guy up the top. Live Message is a new acquisition of Salesforce. We're just seeing it coming in. I'm not going to be touching on it today, but that allows you to have live Facebook message chats and also SMS customer service as well. So it's a pretty powerful addition. So focusing in today, we're going to be running through this simple integration. So we've got Service Cloud, your CRM, Social Studio, and Social Hub. And we're going to predominantly focus on Facebook and Twitter. These are the major channels that are supported. Instagram also has some support. There's up-and-coming support for other channels, but you know, a few of them are in beta. Great. Okay, so let's focus in on Social Studio. So quick overview, it allows on and off-page social engagement. It's got these columns set up, very similar to Hootsuite. You can escalate cases and leads from Social Studio Engage. So you can see here, it's actually, it shows when you've escalated it, and it's got details on the record. It highlights it, and it takes it out of the community manager's hands and puts it into a customer service agent hand. Then we've got these two guys, so Salesforce CRM and Social Hub. So if we look at, and this is getting a little bit technical, so don't worry if your eyes glaze over. I'll go into the demo in a second. But this is how it would work. So you'd have an account and contact with a social persona and social posts attached to the social persona. So it actually, this is where social customer service changes the contact model within Salesforce CRM. It actually adds 2 new objects. And then, of course, I've got a case. This is in a B2B scenario. In a B2C scenario where you have person accounts, it's all just one person account and then social persona, social post. And they all have cases. So that's a little bit more technical. This is a screenshot of what the case view list, case list view looks like. I'll show this in the demo. The really powerful thing about having social cases in your CRM is that you have one view of the customer. So if they call in from voice later or send you an email another day, it's really all just one record that everyone's working on. There's no confusion. You know, it's really great to have your social teams all operating out of one system, but if it's not connected with the rest of the business, it's almost pointless. And just to show you the architecture of social leads for those that are interested in this, a social lead comes in, it's a lead record, and then it also has a social persona and multiple social posts. So there's got these 2 new objects attached to a lead. Once you convert that lead, it becomes an account, contact, and opportunity just like normal. But then we've also got the same social persona, social post attached to that contact as well. So that's how the social lead kind of object relationship looks like. And it's the same thing. You've got your lead queue in Salesforce, and I've blacked out some of the emails and companies. May have a few competitors on the call. So yeah, and again, the same thing, the same way that you'd manage leads in Salesforce, you also manage social leads. I also just want to touch on the Command Center because this is really exciting. Command Center is a visualization, a live visualization of Salesforce. It started off as a social Command Center, but they've recently expanded it. They added Marketing Cloud, so you can see what's going on with your journeys and your email campaigns. But now Sales and Service Cloud as well, so you can see what your sales team and your service teams are up to. So it's a really great tool to expose the day-to-day goings on. Okay, great. That's enough of me talking. So let's go into the demo. So we've got 3 actors today. We've got Donald Trump. He's our social media specialist. We've got Jackie Chan, who's a social customer service agent, and Hank Moody, who's a salesperson. So I'm going to start with the Social Studio Engage. So we're really going to focus in on Donald Trump's job. Let's not confuse ourselves. So the Don's job, he is responsible for reviewing, tagging, engaging, and closing all posts, replying to posts, assigning posts to other Social Studio users, escalating cases and leads to Salesforce, and viewing his dashboard to see his work done. Right, so that's a pretty full job. That's a daytime job. He does that every single day. So I'm just going to jump across. There's always a risk with live demos that something doesn't work. Okay, great. So I hope some of you have gone into my social accounts and left some posts. So right now I'm in Social Studio. So this is really where a marketer would lie. they would log into this and manage the publishing, engagement, and analytics around social. So I'm currently sitting in Engage. I'm not going to show Publish, and I will show Analyze. Okay, so I've got some tabs set up, and the way I structure my tabs is I've got my Facebook wall, Facebook Messenger, Facebook reviews, Instagram comments. So I've logically grouped my columns into what I think makes sense. You can group these together. You can have them like lots and lots and lots of them. But it just makes sense to me to kind of group them together into something that's logical. Okay, great. So I've got some stuff going on my Facebook wall. So I can see Dimes. Dimes is our amazing account manager from AF Digital. So I can see here that she's been having an interaction. I can look at the conversation and get a better feeling. So it's around this post, boost your digital marketing know-how. Can I be a rockstar intern? And then she's posted not anymore. So there's a bit of chatter. So I can jump into here and like this. And doing my job as a community manager, I'm really just looking to have fun. So I'm just going to reply and say, woot, woot, and put a little smiley in there. Boom. Okay, great. And then generally as a community manager, I would then set the status, and once I change that to commented closed, that disappears. And I've already kind of addressed this, so I'm just going to like this one and do the same. Commented closed. Okay, so this is my general job. I'm just going through and tagging, replying, having fun, everything that's cool and easy. But what happens when I come across something that is a little bit more dramatic? So in my playbook, I've actually said to my staff, if anyone gives us a positive review or any review, I actually want to know about that in CRM. What I'm going to do here is, instead of replying, and I can reply to a review in Social Studio, I'm going to use a macro, and I'm going to escalate this as a case. So that's going to go into Salesforce CRM as a case, and that's my rules of engagement. You can see that the macro is actually tagged it as a case. It's also said it's a Salesforce contact and social persona. So that just lets me know in the future that this guy already exists in Salesforce. Okay, and as you can see, that's grayed out as well. So that's fantastic. I don't need to worry about that. It's gone across. The CRM guys that use that will do that. So just going through, I still get excited. So this is from Robin. He's a bit silly sometimes. We love your attitude. Okay, cool. And I give myself a sarcastic thumbs up. Okay, great. Yeah, so this is my job. I go through, I'm continuing to do my job, comment and close. I can also use macros for my workflow. And I can say no action, and that will also close it. So I've kind of pre-set up some macros like noise, etc. Okay, so let's just keep going. Still my job. So Zeke, I'm not sure if this is one of my staff. So what I'm going to do is just say, hey Zeke, yes, we're always on the lookout for talent. Please email jobs@afdigital.com. If I had a flow set up, I could also send them through. So if I had a candidate flow in Salesforce, I could send them through. Create candidate in Salesforce. I just haven't done that yet. What I might like to do with Zeke, though, is because I want him to buy into the AF Digital vision, so I might throw him onto a marketing journey. And this is a really cool new feature within Social Studio, is that you can actually trigger marketing journeys. You just need to connect it with your CRM and then with Salesforce Marketing Cloud to put it into an audience. Great, so, and that's pretty much done. So I've commented closed. So let me just raise another case. Okay, not Dimes. I'm gonna just go across and see if there's anything going on. Okay, so we've got Twitter, well, hello, all friends. So I'm just gonna create a case just so we've got some data going in there. Okay, great. So I've also got a topic profile set up to listen for AF Digital. So this Rosario, so generally I'd be replying and closing, but in the interest of time, I'm just going to say let's tag Rosario as a lead in Salesforce. So I'm actually going to, oh, she's actually tagged that as negative sentiment. That's actually positive. Great. You can adjust the sentiment here, and it also goes through to a learning engine. Anything else in here? No. Okay, so Twitter Salesforce listening. My company also, because we service Salesforce customers, it's important that we listen for the industry, but often there are some sales opportunities here. So this guy, Dinesh, I'm just going to create a lead, and I might also trigger a journey for him as well. And that'll go through to Marketing Cloud. What else have we got? Atul Gupta, he looks like a Salesforce user. Great. Okay, so just wrapping up. So from Social Studio Engage, I'm Donald Trump. I just want to have fun, but I've also been trained to identify when something needs to be escalated as a case or a lead, or also if somebody should be put into a journey. And as you can see, this is a very basic setup. You could really do some cool custom stuff with this. Great. So at the end of that, I'm going to jump into Analyze because I want to see what I've been doing. I want to have a bit of a report on the status of the engagement. So we've got a shared dashboard here called Engagement Report Template. This is a custom dashboard that we've set up. And it pretty much tracks the engagement for Facebook, for social listening, and for Twitter. So it will show the status, the Facebook post assignment, and this really tracks who's been doing what, the labels that are predominantly being used, and then author labels as well. And it does that across all of those. So I can come through and say, okay, I can actually look into this and go, okay, show me all of the items that you know, no further action required, for example. And if I want to create a custom report, I can just go duplicate, duplicate this template, and then change the date range. So I can say this is September 2017, and change the dates to September. And now I have my engagement report. So really, as a community specialist, that's everything I need to do. Okay, great. So jumping back, back into the presentation. Okay, so now we're going to look at social customer service. So we've got the marketing guy that's been fiddling around on the page, managing stuff. So let's jump into Service Cloud. So the actors today, we've got Jackie Chan, delightful fellow. So his job is to pick up a new case in the case queue. He also should respond, assign cases, and change status, and then check dashboards and reports. I'm also going to show you Command Center as well. So right now I'm looking at my social case queue. So I've just refreshed it. Oops. Okay, I just need to refresh my page. Excuse me, technology. Okay, great. So this is my social case queue. You can see there's 3 new cases that have been added. It shows which channel they are, and some of them have already been assigned to contacts, others haven't. So let me just have a look at this at Robin. Okay, yeah, the reason I haven't been assigned is because I test myself all the time. So what I can do here is I can actually attach myself to an existing contact, and that just closes the loop. And this is actually one of the biggest challenges with social case data and lead data is it doesn't come with the email and phone. So you really, it comes across to the social persona, first name, last name, and then you have to find the relevant record and then attach it. So there are kind of a lot of methods to do this well. But it's really good in the customer service context because you're just naturally doing that every day. You're like, DM us your account number, and straight away you can attach it, and then forever you're attached. Great, so this is a social case. So within here, I've got a few different options. I can see the details of the case, but this is my feed, and this is what really makes it social. So from a service agent, I'm Jackie Chan. I've got Robin here. Yes, of course. How can you help me? Okay, so I'm just going to say, hi, Robin. You rock. Have a great day. Okay, so I'm not very helpful, but whatever. It's just me. So I've posted that back in, and that's actually popped up on my phone, although I've turned Facebook off for this webinar. That posted immediately, and as Jackie Chan, I then go in and say, okay, social case status closed. I could say awaiting customer response, but I'm going to say closed, priority low, and then save. And then I navigate away from that, and I may also assign it to myself as well. Okay, sorry, I didn't test this. Just ignore I said that. Cancel. Okay. So you'd also you'd pick it up from the social case queue and assign it to yourself. I just haven't set it up like that. Okay, great. So I've got another one here. So I'm going to go into this. Well, hello, old friend. So this is from me also. And then say, well, hello there. And I'm also unassociated, so I'm going to just, associate myself. And now I've got my Twitter and my Facebook linked to my contact record, and I've got a conversation, but I am going to close it because I want to show what it looks like in Command Center. Closed. Okay, great. And one more, I think. Let me just refresh this. Okay, cool, this one. Great, okay, so Jonathan left a review, and I'm going to like that. So you can actually interact with the native features of Facebook and Twitter from within Service Cloud. And this is really making it a social tool. You know, like Social Studio is great for a marketer. Service Cloud is really everything you need from a service perspective. Awesome, Jonathan. You freaking rock. Okay, cool. I would swear, but this is public. Okay, great. So, and that's really it. I'm going to follow Jonathan as well. And then I may, if I was a salesperson, I'd probably look into him a little bit more and enrich his record and maybe raise a lead. So I'm just going to say closed, and I'm going to say medium. I could also tag this. If I had tagging, say it's a review. There's all sorts of things you can do once you've got the data in CRM. Great. Okay, so I'm just going to check. There's no, whoops, there's no more open cases. No. Okay, that's all clear. Great. So that's my job as a customer service agent. So let me just have a look into my dashboards. So the dashboards are really configurable in Salesforce. Anyone can build them. They're just super easy once you've got the data going in there. Okay, I don't have any open cases actually, so this doesn't show, but it's got closed cases, leads, you know, you can really build anything here. But what I really like is Command Center. So this is actually live data. It's showing 2 new cases in this period. 1 case currently open. It shows 1 case currently open. But basically this tracks, oh no, okay, it just was about to update 3 cases. So I've got an average close time of 104 minutes. And you've got an SLA here. So I actually set the SLA in the dashboard. And you can see that it would actually monitor, you know, over time. It gives you visibility over the transactions that are happening. It shows you the top agents per period, etc. It's a really powerful tool to visualize social customer service. And this is live. This is running on our live environment, live Salesforce, live Social Studio, live accounts. So it's really showing it there. Great. Okay, so let's jump back into the presentation. Okay, so we're almost there. So let's do a demo of social selling. So we've covered social engagement from a marketer's perspective. We've talked through social customer service from an agent perspective. And now we've got social selling. So this is really bringing leads out of social and doing something with them to get real ROI. So a lot of people say, well, social selling can be spammy. You know, how do you social sell? There's a lot of negativity around it. For me, it's really about being relevant. You know, just like all marketing today is about being relevant and finding the moments in the journey of your customer where it is relevant for you to reach out and say hello. So in this example, this is a brand that provides like trips, like travel plans, kind of like a travel agency on steroids. So we looked into a traveler's journey as they go through a whole trip. So they start out with dreaming about the trip, then they plan to go on the trip, then they book the trip, they prepare for the trip, they depart, they explore, they return, and then they reminisce. And at any point in that journey, they are likely to share something on social media. They're likely to share some sentiment or a photo or something. And as a travel-oriented company, this is super relevant for them. So, you know, if you're looking into dreaming, I really want to go back to NZ for a holiday. In this example, TripADeal is not our client. It was just a case study. Where have you spent most of your time there? Check this trip plan out. So they are actually helping them with the dreaming process. You know, when they're planning, spending my Sunday binge watching Netflix and planning my holiday, where are you thinking of going? You know, just starting the conversation. They probably have a sellable opportunity right up until booking, you know, and then it's like, oh, you should use this next time, but let's still keep in touch and we'll just like your stuff, you know, we'll like your photos and we'll give you love and advice and help you so that when you do come to think about your next trip, you're going to wonder, oh, maybe I should go with TripADeal. So our actors in the Sales Cloud workflow, Hank Moody, if you don't know who Hank is, he's from Californication, a TV show from the US. So his job, he picks up a new lead in the social lead queue, he enriches the lead, he responds to the lead, he converts the lead, and then he checks his dashboards and reports. So, and it's pretty much his current job today. So if we look at Salesforce CRM, it's really it's a sales tool. So just look into the social lead queue. Okay, so all of these leads have come in from social. They've all come in through Social Studio for one reason or another. If you think about this as the same as an email lead queue, where someone sends you an email from the website or fills out a lead form, they fill it out and they usually give you as minimal information as they can. So this is normal, right? Social leads come in, they do have minimal information. Hopefully you've trained Donald Trump on how to qualify at least a little bit so the leads you get through here are actually pretty good. So, okay, so I've got some leads here. Let's just have a look into them. And I should be checking this every day. I can have an automation set up to notify me as a salesperson. There are all sorts of ways you can handle incoming. I didn't touch on this before, but with cases also you can set up milestones to track SLAs for response time. Okay, so let me just have a look in. I've got this guy, David Vitek. I apologize, David, you are a real person. I hope you don't mind me looking at you. So this guy, I actually had a quick look at him before. I think he may be a potential lead. So as a salesperson, this is all I've got. This is all that came through in the integration. So I've got the tweet that he sent, and I can drill into that and have a look at that. A great panel session by High Pages Suncorp. Oh, so this guy attended our event. So that's really great. I don't have his name in my email though. I wonder how I missed him as lead. But that's cool. I've got him here now. So David Vitek. So here's his Twitter. So personally, I'm going to follow him as a salesperson. I just always do that. Maybe if I'm clever, I'll like and retweet one of his posts. So I'm just being a salesperson. Now I'm going to go into LinkedIn and continue to be a salesperson. So don't think that the solution is going to take away the job of the salesperson. It doesn't make them easy to social sell. You still have to be a really smart salesperson. So David Vitek, and then CEO Hype. See, of course, that's why I know that name. David, his company is actually a client of ours already. We implemented social customer service for them. So that's great. So I've got David in there, and I may actually convert David because he is. Sorry, I'm just going to refresh my screen. Yeah, so he's actually an existing customer, which is really interesting. So now I've kind of I've gone through. What I can do here is I can look at his LinkedIn, and I can enrich that. So I've got his Twitter here. If I had his phone number, etc. And there are some tools as well which you can use to enrich leads. So I've got a tool here that I use to enrich the lead in CRM. And that will bring all of the available public data across into my Sales Cloud and attach it to that lead. Great. So I've actually done that. So as a salesperson, I go through this process. So in this case, he's actually an existing customer, so I go converted. And High Pages is the High Pages, choose existing, High Pages, boom. David Vitek, opportunity. I'm not gonna don't create an existing opportunity. Great. So that's done. So now I've added him as a contact against his existing account. And you know that record's complete. So that's a really great example of how the sales process works. If he hadn't been a known person, then I would have found out. I would have gone as a salesperson. Oh yeah, boom, 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 and really targeted him, etc. And this is how you manage the social lead process. So again, there's no magic bullets. Obviously, if it's a B2C organization, you could you'd probably generate those leads through. Start triggering a journey where they get advertised to, and that generates a lead that goes into your CRM with a journey following it. Great. Okay. So, and again, I haven't done it, but check dashboard and reports, and also in Command Center, I can see in Command Center a dashboard for my sales. I can't show that live because it's actually got my live data, unfortunately. Great. So back to the presentation. All right, so we've got about 15 minutes left. We've got a good time. So let's just talk quickly about how to operationalize social customer service. So first, I think the biggest challenge large companies face is figuring out the ROI of social. You've just got to figure out your ROI model. You know, what is a lead worth to you? What is a saving from a deflected call worth to you? And that's pretty much all you need to know. And then maybe also if you're into kind of brand marketing, you could look at the value that you'd pay an influencer for a positive brand mention, and then equate that to an organic brand mention. Okay, so next, implement the right tools. So you know, a lot of people buy a social media platform they like using. But the social media team is just a small part of the customer equation, you know, and if your social media platform is not connected to your CRM and to your customer journeys, you may as well, just use Facebook natively, you know. Set goals and metrics. So, and it's really great to expose the numbers because once you expose the numbers, people start caring about them. So even if you don't know what your goal is, just look at what it's been for the last 3 months, create an average, and then increase it by 10%. It's as simple as that. After a while, you'll stop caring about some metrics and you'll start caring about others. 4, create a playbook. So the playbook is an operating procedure for what you'll do on social media, and that crosses everything: publishing, engagement, advertising, reporting, crisis management. You know, it is just a procedure document. These are business communication tools, and without governance and procedure, it's reckless. You know, so build a playbook. 5, build a command center. The command center, while it doesn't have any tangible ROI directly associated with it, it is really a tool for business transformation. It's a tool for people adopting the technology. It's a tool to expose when people aren't adopting it, you know, when there's a flat line because someone's not doing stuff. People say that if it doesn't exist in CRM, it doesn't exist. So having a command center just makes sure that it's being used and people appreciate it and people see the results of their work. 6, run a call center shift operation. So no half-assing. Like if you operate a 24/7 voice customer service operation, you should do the same with social. Don't outsource it to an agency, like a creative agency that's going to run it creatively. You know, you really need an operation with governance, SLAs, KPIs, all of those things. 7, engage both on-page and off-page. A lot of brands, they just want to take what's directed at them, but there's a lot that's indirectly directed at brands. So really important to listen for people talking about you, not just take the inbound. 8, prepare for a crisis. A lot of people think of social media crisis as something that starts on social. A lot of business crisis is a business crisis in public, and social is the communication area where the crisis gets talked about. So obviously, if you don't have a plan and something happens and you use social poorly, it can make your crisis worse. If you use it really well, like Tony Fernandez with AirAsia, when a plane went down, you can actually gain from it. You know, like you can gain rapport with your audience. 9, spread the word. So don't be shy that you offer social customer service. You actively want to deflect people there. Number 10, track results and calculate ROI. And this is really important to ensure continued investment in the function of social customer service, is to really report on it and measure the ROI. Go back to your ROI model and say, how many social cases do we have this month? Okay, every single one there was say a $10 savings. That's our ROI. Okay, great. Yeah, so I've talked about Command Center. I really do encourage people to think about Command Center if they're using Salesforce technology in their business, because it exposes everything. Also, I would recommend everyone just does a bit of an audit, and this is a service we also provide, but it's where you just go through all of your customer channels online, and you look at the way you manage your community, your publishing, your engagement, your listening, your acquisition, and is it happy, moderate, or sad? So, I mean, this is something you can do yourself. Another really great way of doing it is visualizing what do you see as kind of a level 5 social maturity, and then look at it across different aspects and rate yourself. Then you can start to identify your gaps and where you need to grow. And that also, being able to measure your maturity, that allows you to figure out what your longer-term roadmap is. So you could say by 2020 we want to be 4.9, and this is what 4.9 means to us. You know, and it's not an overnight thing. It really takes building competency and maturity. And we recommend doing that with a roadmap. You know, just plotting out the high-level achievements you want to unlock as an organization, because there's a lot. It's not overnight. Great. Okay, so that concludes the presentation and demo. Can I invite any questions? So you can just use the chat or the questions feature. Thanks, Tamara. Great. I'll just stay open for questions for another couple of minutes. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Have a great weekend.